we are sort of favouring value at this moment rather than growth, and I think you've seen some pretty stellar numbers coming out of US growth names, and not always is the performance of the stock or the company that's giving those numbers been very positive, and I think that's just a sign that things are almost as good as it can get in the short term for some of these names, and then you get this rotation, into value names as growth becomes less scarce when we talk about it in the global scheme of things. Then, therefore, more companies can benefit from that growth, and that should filter through into the value names. So, industrials, financial, and energy companies, likely to outperform, we think, over the next 6 to 12 months.
Steve, the market that we're focusing on most this morning is the Korean market. The Kosdaq is down about 1.5%, and the gap between the Kosdaq and the Kospi has been persistent over the last few sessions. Is it because of short sellers and that short selling ban being revoked, them getting active in the market, or this has got to do something with the data on inflation seeming like, tightening could be in the works, policy tightening, that is?
Yeah, I think it's several things coming together, but I think we probably sit more on the side of saying that, look, the economic side of things is really important. So that inflation pickup is a global phenomenon as well. Of course, we had Warren Buffett over the weekend talking about that challenge in the States, but that's going to be a global phenomenon, and we're seeing that coming through in the Korean data already. So from that perspective, again, if we're seeing that the monetary policy outlook is still going to remain loose, of course, interest rates remain at record lows for an extended period. But if people start looking beyond that, then that may widen the gap between, again, it's a similar story, right? So value versus growth, Kospi versus Kosdaq. So we see that is a global phenomenon that's playing out in Korea in recent days as well.
Okay, and how closely are you looking at the story in India? Because that Indian variant is now being found in other places.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose that's the key concern. Coming back to the first question, is that how resilient is that variant to vaccines is going to be a key aspect from a global perspective. Obviously, what's going on in India is extremely tragic and very challenging. But if the vaccines can address this, then that will be less of a global concern in the current environment. But if there's signs that these vaccines do not work against the India variant, then that obviously would be a lot more challenging across the whole world, and particularly in Asia.